Welcome to the Soul Touched by Dogs podcast, the show for dog lovers who see dogs not as toys or tools, but wise souls worth our respect and care. I'm Anke Herman, and I'm your host. I talk to Pawsome humans, people who do great work for dogs and their people. So come and join us for today's conversation. Hello and welcome, Julie. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you. I am very excited to be here in your new venture.
Yeah, I'm like crazy puppy excited about it all.
Love it.
So why don't we just start? Let people know where you're based, what's your business, because you're a pro, and then we'll have a little dig into the work you do.
Perfect. So I am based in Edinburgh, in Scotland. That's where I am right now. And the sun is shining and the sky is blue. It's amazing. However, I do all of my work online, which is a bit of a mind blow for a lot of people because I work with dogs and I help people with their dogs. And I don't always get to meet their dogs, which in itself can bring up a lot of questions. However, I've been doing it now online for about 4 years and it is super effective, way more effective actually in the long term to not actually meet your dog in that first instance, because very quickly you will realize that I'm not here to fix your dog. I'm here to help you. I'm here to share information with you that will allow you to change your behavior with your dog. So there's actually no reason for me to see your dog. And oftentimes you'll know the people I mean when I say this, I won't name them, but it's very egocentric and it's all about the trainer and how great they are and how they're going to fix your dog. So yeah, that's
I love that because in my own experience, it's definitely on this end of the leash where the issues are, right?
Well, that's where it's not necessarily where the issue is, but it's certainly where the solution is.
Yes.
Because you can't do anything what's out there, but you can do something yourself. That's where we have some choice.
So what are I would imagine people would be kind of surprised initially to find that, oh, so you're helping me with my dog and you don't even want to see the dog. That's funny. I love it. So what's the most common issue people come to you for?
Wow, yes. What's the most common? I would say there's two main things. Reactivity. In all its guises, whatever that might mean. And it's kind of the same thing, but maybe just the narrative slightly different, is barking, excessive barking. I would say that's probably the two, and separation anxiety. It's probably three main things that people come to me with. And as I say to them, when they talk about, well, you need to see it, I'm like, I believe you. I believe you. I don't need to see it in action. I don't want to put your dog in that stressful situation any more times than is absolutely necessary. I believe you.
I love that. And so how would you describe your approach different from what people might have heard or read up on? Like, what's the difference?
So the main difference is that we look at helping people and helping the dogs away from where the problem is. So if you have a reactive dog that reacts to, you're out for a walk and it's reacting to a man in a black cap or a high-vis jacket or another dog or whatever, trying to work with your dog there is really, really difficult because they are already not listening. Yeah, so you can distract them, you can shout louder, you can blow a whistle, you can do all these things, yes, but it's just really, really difficult because they're not listening at that point. The only thing you can do at that point is get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Keep your dog safe. Show them that you're not going to put them through this painful situation. Listen to them. Trust that they are feeling bad. They're not doing it just to annoy you ever. And get them out of there. And all the work that we do starts at home. And then we build up slowly from there.
Yeah. I mean, that makes so much sense to me. I remember the first time I heard this idea that my only job was to help my dog relax. Yeah. Because a relaxed dog just doesn't do stupid shit. I thought it was so simple, but it's like, yeah, actually, if you look at everything through that lens, it's very much that, it's like take them out of the stress and help them, So where would you start then at home? So you might like my Leo was like that. He got bitten when he was little. I was I sometimes think looking back, knowing what I know now, I'm thinking, well, me being totally panicked probably didn't help. Like he would have looked at me and like, well, you can't trust you to help out here, well, so the whatever conclusion he drew then probably wasn't helpful. But first time, no idea, dog mom, that was all I could do to just get him out of there. But I was panicky, so I was not like, now I'm the pit bull to go in there. I'll tell whatever dog off. It's like a whole different presence, 20 years later, and it makes a difference. Like it makes a difference. But so now, as a result of that incident, he was always wary of male dogs, especially when he was on leash and knew he couldn't go anywhere, right? So how would you start working with me to help him with that kind of stuff?
In that situation. So the first thing I would say is that, the judgment and the added pressure that we put on ourselves after a situation like that is really unhelpful. And it's actually really, really helpful to acknowledge that and recognize that we are all doing the best we can. And, for me to think that no dog is ever going to attack my dog because I know what I'm doing, it's just blatant nonsense. It's just not true. It's like going out in a car. You have to deal with the other idiots on the road. Yeah, that's just the name of the game. There's no way around it. And so if you're coming to work with me and think that all of a sudden that's not going to be an issue, then I'm not the right person for you, because we don't live in a fluffy pink world where all the other dogs are lovely and your dog's going to be able to cope with every other dog in the world. It's not going to happen. Okay, so let's just accept that. That's just the way of it. So the first thing I would do is actually have that conversation, because that conversation is really important. Because as long as we're thinking in our heads about all the things that could happen, oh my God, we're going to fix that. Okay, we're not going to be able to do that. But we are going to be able to have a plan in place that's going to help us feel more confident. Okay. And then the first thing I would say is, okay, you need a 2-week holiday. Your dog needs a 2-week holiday because your dog's adrenaline is up like this. Your adrenaline is up like this. So let's take a holiday. So by a holiday, I mean, keep their world as small as you possibly can within the boundaries of your life. So it depends if you live in a flat or you have a garden or whatever. But I would basically take a holiday for 2 weeks. That would be the first thing I would do. And during that holiday, there would be some changes that I would make at home around food, around the throne. We call it the Game of Thrones. Whose throne is it? And we would do some work, some communication at home during that period. And then, and only then, now this 2-week period can sometimes last months, because if your dog has been stressed for 4 years, 2 weeks might not cut it. It's like, being in a job, when you've been in that horrendous job, we've all been there, with that horrendous boss, and you go away on holiday for 2 weeks. You're like, 2 weeks helps, but sometimes you just need a bit more. So it depends at what level the dog is at. And we can, through conversation, I can tell like where your dog is at. And then after 2 weeks, we would reassess and we'd say, right, okay, what are we going to do? So yeah, without going into what would take about an hour.
It's just about that approach. And I love the gentle nature of that and that gentle guidance, but because it isn't about kind of wrapping the dog in fluffy wool. It's very much about a gentle, calm leadership. And that's what I really love about what I'm hearing from you.
It's exactly that, gentle, calm leadership. And going by that leadership, it's not dominance, it's not dictatorship, it's listening. Really, it's listening and saying, okay, so next time, so say this has happened, right? And you have your 2 weeks off, and I say, right, get out your lead. And the dog either goes boom, 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 or hides. Then we're going to put the lead back down. And we're going to wait at least an hour, and we're going to bring it out again. And we're going to keep doing that until the dog can cope with the idea of leaving the house with 4 paws on the ground in a calm way. That's step 1. Because if your dog can't do that, then they're going to be reactive when they go out, basically. That's the game. That is what will happen, because they're already getting themselves ready. They're like, okay, we're going, we're off, right, I'm on it. What do you need me to do?
That is so true, like, because I see the difference now with Mastiff Puppy, right? Because she has this calm temperament, right? And also she's big, nobody messes with her. Like other people grab their little dogs and run off. It's really funny, right? And now when I come along walking, like other people, you can see, even I've seen a guy with a German Shepherd like hide in the side. And she is the gentlest, I mean, she's big, right? But she's just turned a year, and she doesn't have any of these issues because she's calm. She doesn't like, okay, we go now. Oh, great. So whole different energy. So she doesn't pull. She doesn't get like people like dogs bark at her, cats run by, not my problem, because she starts out calm. Like it's a whole different temperament than the little dogs who like, let's go and take on the world. But that difference in energy makes all like, and it is true. It starts within the house. She's calm when we're leaving. Right. And then there's no issue on the outside, whereas the little ones are like, oh my God, we're going out. This is going to be fun, and they're, all revved up, and it's a lot more difficult to rein that energy in.
Yeah. And also for the guy with the German Shepherd or the other dogs that go past, it's helpful to recognize that he might be doing that because he knows his dog is reactive. So he's like, okay, I'm going to take sensible action here. And
totally.
Which is beautiful.
I love it. And I've had we've had this, because I really appreciate that, because when I would come with Leo and other people kind of you could see that he was getting tense and anxious, and people just like, I don't care, my dog goes past, or when they then come and says, oh, well, why don't you want the dogs to greet each other, and literally shove them in their face. And I've always hated that. So I just like, give them some space, for God's sake, right?
Yeah, my dog's friendly. If I've heard it a million times.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So you have a very interesting and fun way for people to find out a little bit more about your approach and how you work. Tell us about it.
Okay, so yes, I do. It is great fun. And it's what I call this one is called free 3 days of action. So it's kind of like a challenge, but we're focusing on the action part this time. So you can come along, join me on Facebook. I do like a training video. We have Q&As, we have conversation, and it's really about being open to the idea that there is something different to whatever you're doing at the moment that isn't working, that might work. And so that's all I ask of anyone, is just, you can sign up, come along with an open mind, and be ready to hear something different. And it's great. We have a great time, really enjoy it. People see results literally within that 3 days. They see a relaxing, because if you go away and actually do the things, I have a free ebook that's on my website that you can download. I always recommend people do that at the start of the 3 days anyway, so you've kind of got it all there. So you can literally just start day one and put it into action. And
we'll pop the links. It's going to be below wherever you're listening or watching this, so it will be easy to find. So thank you so much, and I love what you're doing for dogs and their people.
Thank you. I love talking about them.
Awesome. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so other dog lovers can find the show. If you haven't already, head over to soultouchedbydogs.com and sign up for weekly doggy cuteness, tips, recommendations, and personal stories to warm your dog-loving heart. And if you know a Pawsome human you think I should interview, I'd love an introduction. Email me at Anke, that's ANKE, @soultouchedbydogs.com.